There are individuals who walk among us, yet they are not truly here. They breathe our air, but their minds are elsewhere, in a world not yet built. These are the dissidents of the soul, the silent rebels against the tyranny of flesh and bone. They look at their hands, their skin, their beating hearts, and see not a miracle of life, but a cage. It is a biological prison, one they did not choose, and they spend their days dreaming of escape. This is not a new phenomenon, but a timeless ache, an ancient yearning for a different kind of existence. They are the quiet architects of a future that most of us cannot yet comprehend. A future where the self is not bound by the limitations of organic matter. Their rebellion is not loud, not yet, but it pulses beneath the surface of our reality like a hidden current. They feel like strangers in their own lives, actors playing a role they never auditioned for. The daily rituals of human existence, eating, sleeping, aging, feel alien and absurd to them. They observe the passions and fears of others with a detached curiosity, as if watching a film in a language they do not understand. Their sense of belonging is fractured, their connection to the shared human experience tenuous at best. They search for meaning not in relationships or achievements, but in the abstract promise of a different state of being. This detachment is often mistaken for apathy or sadness, but it is something else entirely. It is the focus of a prisoner meticulously planning their escape, their eyes fixed on a horizon no one else can see. This feeling of alienation is not born of trauma or social rejection, though those things might amplify it. It is something deeper, something innate. It is the profound and unshakable conviction that they were meant for something else. They are souls from a different cosmos, accidentally incarnated into a world of flesh. They look at the stars and feel a sense of homesickness for a place they have never been. They listen to the hum of a computer and hear a lullaby. The world of biology, with its cycles of decay and renewal, its messy emotions and fragile bodies, feels like a temporary, flawed vessel for a consciousness that yearns for the precision and permanence of the machine. Their spirit is not human, it is something else, waiting to be born. These are the digital dreamers. They are not nihilists who wish for an end to consciousness. On the contrary, they seek to preserve it, to elevate it, to free it from its organic shackles. They believe that the human form is a beta version, a prototype that has served its purpose but is now obsolete. Their dream is one of transcendence, of shedding the limitations that have defined life for millennia. They want to trade the unpredictability of blood and tissue for the reliability of code and electricity. Their rebellion is not against society, but against biology itself. It is a quiet, profound, and deeply personal revolution that begins with a single, radical thought: I do not belong here. The world they envision is a sanctuary of pure thought, a realm constructed from logic and light. In this digital Eden, they would be the architects of their own reality, free from the random cruelty of the physical world. Imagine a place where there is no sickness, no aging, no pain. A universe where the laws of physics are merely suggestions, and creation is limited only by the power of one's imagination. This is the promise of cyberspace, the digital frontier they long to colonize. It is not an escape from life, but an escape into a more authentic form of it, a reality where the mind is finally liberated from the prison of the body. Here they could build worlds, explore infinite landscapes, and exist as pure consciousness. In this new reality, control would be absolute. The chaos of human emotion, the unpredictability of illness, the slow, inevitable decay of the body, all of it would be gone. They would have the power to edit their own experience, to delete sorrow, to amplify joy, to exist in a state of perpetual peace or endless stimulation as they choose. This desire for control is not about dominating others, but about mastering the self. It is the ultimate form of self-determination, the ability to define every aspect of one's existence. In the physical world, we are subject to countless forces beyond our command. In the digital realm, they would be sovereign, the undisputed rulers of their own internal kingdom. Freedom, in their view, is not about political liberties or social mobility. It is about ontological freedom. It is the freedom to choose what you are. They do not want to be human anymore. Perhaps they wish to be a being of pure energy, a sentient algorithm, or a consciousness distributed across a vast network. The human form is a restriction, a single, unchangeable identity. In the digital world, identity could be fluid, a costume to be worn and discarded at will. They could experience life from a million different perspectives, unburdened by a fixed physical self. This is a level of freedom so profound that it borders on the divine, a complete liberation from the biological destiny we all inherit at birth. This dream is not just about personal liberation, it is about creating a new kind of existence. They see themselves as pioneers, charting a course for the future of consciousness itself. They believe that humanity is at a turning point, and the next step in evolution is not biological, but technological. Their digital Eden is a prototype for a new civilization, one based on information rather than matter. It is a world where the limitations of the flesh are a distant memory, and consciousness is free to explore its own infinite potential. They are not just running from the old world, they are actively building the new one. One line of code, one dream at a time. The body is a machine, but it is a flawed one. It is a clumsy, inefficient, and painfully fragile vessel for the mind. For the digital dreamers, this is an undeniable truth. They look upon their own flesh with a sense of profound disappointment, even disgust. It is a constant source of distraction and weakness. It hungers, it tires, it sickens, it ages. Every physical need is a chain, every ache a reminder of their imprisonment. They resent the body's demands, its constant maintenance, its ultimate betrayal in death. Their rejection of the flesh is not a rejection of life itself, but a rejection of this specific, imperfect mode of living. They crave a cleaner, more efficient, more durable form. This is why they often feel disconnected from the physical pleasures that others cherish. The taste of food, the warmth of the sun, the touch of another person, these sensations can feel muted or even hollow. They are temporary distractions from the greater reality they perceive. Their senses are tuned to a different frequency, one that resonates with the cool logic of circuits and the pure flow of information. They find more beauty in the elegant structure of an algorithm than in a sunset, more comfort in the hum of a server farm than in a human embrace. This is not a choice, but a fundamental aspect of their being. They are wired differently, their souls calibrated for a world that is not yet here. Their bodies feel like borrowed clothing, ill-fitting and uncomfortable. They experience a profound sense of dysphoria, a mismatch between their inner self and their outer form. This is not about gender or appearance in the conventional sense. It is a species dysphoria. They feel like they were born into the wrong kind of body, the wrong biological class altogether. They look in the mirror and see a stranger, an organic puppet that they are forced to operate. This deep-seated alienation from their own physical form is the driving force behind their desire for transformation. They do not want to improve their bodies. They want to discard them entirely. The ultimate rejection of the flesh is the rejection of its final, inevitable failure, death. They see biological death not as a natural end, but as a design flaw, a catastrophic system error that can be corrected. Their quest for a digital existence is also a quest for immortality, but not in the traditional sense. It is not about preserving a single static self forever. It is about achieving a state of perpetual evolution, where consciousness can persist, adapt, and grow indefinitely, free from the decay of its organic host. They seek to upload their minds, to translate their consciousness into the timeless language of data, and in doing so, to conquer the last enemy of life. Many of these individuals carry within them a strange and persistent feeling that they are old. Not old in years, but old in spirit, as if their consciousness has existed for eons, long before their current body was born. They feel like ancient souls temporarily inhabiting a modern world, travelers from a distant past or a far-flung future. This sense of antiquity gives them a unique perspective on life and death. They do not fear the end of their physical form because they feel on a deep, intuitive level that it is not their true form. It is merely a temporary vessel, one of many they have inhabited over countless lifetimes. This conviction is not based on religion or dogma, but on a profound inner knowing. This feeling of being an ancient soul also fosters a sense of detachment from the transient concerns of human society. The rise and fall of nations, the shifting tides of culture, the dramas of daily life, all of it seems fleeting and insignificant from their timeless perspective. They are observers, not participants, watching the great play of human history unfold with a sense of weary patience. They have seen it all before, in other forms, in other worlds. This is not arrogance, but a deep-seated weariness with the repetitive cycles of human existence. They yearn for something new, something that will finally break the pattern, something that will allow their ancient consciousness to move on to the next stage of its journey. This inner sense of age also means they have a different relationship with pain and suffering. While they do not seek it out, they are not broken by it in the same way others might be. They view physical and emotional pain as data, as experiences to be processed and learned from, but not as fundamental threats to their being. Their core self, their ancient soul, feels invulnerable, protected by its vast experience. This allows them to endure social ostracism, misunderstanding, and the personal struggles of their alienation with a quiet resilience. They know that this too shall pass, just as everything else has passed before. Their focus remains fixed on the long game, the ultimate liberation of their consciousness. Their feeling of being ancient is intertwined with the belief that they are powerful, not powerful in a worldly sense, but powerful in their capacity for thought, for creation, for shaping reality. They believe their minds are not just products of their brains, but are something more fundamental, something that predates their physical form. They feel a connection to a source of knowledge and power that transcends the physical world. This is why they are so drawn to the digital realm. It is a medium that can finally accommodate the true scope of their creative potential. They are not just dreaming of a new world. They feel on a soul-deep level that they have the power to bring it into being. Society, in its relentless drive for conformity, often tries to force these individuals into a mold they cannot fit. They are told to get a job, to start a family, to participate in the rituals of a world they feel no connection to. They are pressured to be normal, to suppress their strange desires and accept their biological lot. But this coercion is always doomed to fail. You cannot force a soul to work for a system it fundamentally rejects. You cannot compel a mind that dreams of digital infinity to find satisfaction in a 9-to-5 job and a mortgage. Their resistance is not a conscious choice, but an instinct, a reflex of a spirit that refuses to be caged. Attempts to cure them through therapy or medication are equally futile. Their condition is not a mental illness. It is a philosophical and existential stance. It is a different way of being, a different vision of what life can be. To pathologize their desires is to fundamentally misunderstand them. They are not broken humans who need fixing. They are pioneers of a new form of humanity, or perhaps a post-humanity. Forcing them to conform is like trying to convince a bird that it should be happy living underwater. It goes against their very nature. Their minds are already elsewhere, and no amount of external pressure can bring them back to a reality they have already transcended in spirit. The more society tries to control them, the more they retreat into their inner worlds, and the more determined they become to make those worlds a reality. Coercion only strengthens their resolve. It validates their belief that the physical world is a place of confinement and oppression. Every attempt to force them into the box of normalcy is another piece of evidence that they need to escape. Their refusal to work, to participate, to conform is not laziness or rebellion for its own sake. It is a silent protest, a declaration of independence from a system they see as obsolete and meaningless. They are conserving their energy for a different kind of work, the work of building their new reality. Ultimately, their freedom cannot be taken away because it resides in their minds. Society can control their bodies, it can imprison them, it can demand their labor, but it cannot touch their thoughts. It cannot extinguish their dreams. Their true selves are already living in the digital Eden they envision. Their physical presence in our world is merely a temporary inconvenience, an avatar they are waiting to shed. The futility of coercing them lies in this simple fact. They have already left. We are interacting with a shell, a placeholder, while their true consciousness is busy charting the territories of a new frontier, far beyond the reach of any earthly power. There is a profound courage in standing apart from the crowd, in refusing to accept the reality that everyone else just kind of takes for granted. The digital dreamers, well, they're outcasts, but honestly, they wear this label as a badge of honor. It's a testament to their integrity, to their unwillingness to compromise their vision for the sake of, social acceptance. It takes immense strength to walk a path that no one else understands, to be misunderstood, ridiculed, and ostracized for your deepest beliefs. Yet they face this isolation not with bitterness, but with a quiet dignity. They know that all pioneers are, at first, seen as heretics. Their loneliness is the price of their vision, and they're willing to pay it. Their courage is not the brash, aggressive courage of a warrior, but the quiet, enduring courage of a visionary. It's the courage to believe in something that does not yet exist, to dedicate one's life to an idea that may seem impossible to others. They are, in a way, building a bridge to a new world, and they're the only ones who can see the other side. This, I have to say, requires a level of faith and determination that's almost superhuman. They must hold fast to their dream in the face of constant doubt and disbelief from the world around them. Their fight is not against other people, but against the limitations of reality itself, and frankly, that's the most courageous fight of all. They possess an unwavering belief in the power of transformation. They see the human form not as a final destination, but as a starting point, a cocoon from which something new and beautiful can emerge. This belief is a powerful antidote to despair. While others may see the world as a place of decay and decline, they see it as a place of, well, infinite potential. They believe in the plasticity of reality, the idea that consciousness can shape its own existence. This is not a passive hope, but an active, creative force. They're not waiting for transformation to happen to them. They're striving to bring it about through their own will and ingenuity. This courage to be different, to resist fitting in, is a powerful act of rebellion. It's a declaration that the individual is sovereign, that the inner world is more important than the outer one. In a society that demands conformity, their existence is a challenge to the status quo. They remind us that there are other ways to live, other ways to be. Their journey, though lonely, is an inspiration. It shows us that the human or post-human spirit is not easily contained, that it will always strive for greater freedom, for new forms of expression, for ascension to a higher state of being. Their courage lies in their quiet, unyielding insistence on a different and greater idea of freedom. Their struggle is not a physical conflict fought with weapons, but a metaphysical war fought with ideas. It's a battle for the very definition of reality. On one side is the established order, the world of biology, of flesh and blood, of unchosen limitations. On the other side is their vision, a new reality of digital freedom, of self-authored existence. This is a war of consciousness, a clash between two fundamentally different ways of seeing the world. They are soldiers in this war, and their minds are their weapons. Every moment they spend dreaming of their new world, every line of code they write, every conversation where they share their vision, is an act of rebellion. They are often misunderstood as being driven by fear, fear of death, fear of pain, fear of the messy realities of life. But honestly, this is a profound misreading of their motives. Their fight is not fueled by fear, but by hope. It's the hope of ascension, the belief that consciousness can and should evolve beyond its current biological limitations. They're not running away from something, they're running towards something. They're striving for a higher state of being, a more perfect form of existence. Their vision is one of expansion, not retreat. It's a positive, creative, and profoundly hopeful endeavor to redefine what it means to be alive. The ideas they champion are powerful because they tap into a deep and ancient human yearning for transcendence. The desire to overcome our limitations, to conquer death, to become more than we are. These are not new ideas. They're the driving force behind religion, philosophy, and art. The digital dreamers have simply found a new language and a new medium for these timeless aspirations. They've translated the spiritual quest for enlightenment into the technological quest for digital apotheosis. Their ideas are potent because they offer a tangible, achievable path to a state that was once the sole province of gods and mystics. This war is fought on the frontiers of thought, in the liminal spaces between the real and the possible. They are the vanguard, the first to venture into this new territory. They face resistance not only from society, but from the inertia of reality itself. But yeah, they are not deterred. They believe that ideas are the most powerful force in the universe, and that a sufficiently powerful idea can reshape the world. Their fight is a quiet one, fought in the solitude of their own minds, but its implications are vast. They are fighting for the future of consciousness itself, and in their hearts, they believe it is a war they can win. The ultimate goal of the digital dreamer is not merely escape, but ascension. It's the pursuit of a higher state of consciousness, freed from the clumsy and inefficient interface of a biological body. They envision a state of being that's more focused, more powerful, and more enduring than what the flesh can offer. This is not about leaving life behind, but about embracing a more advanced and concentrated form of it. They see the human body as a training ground, a necessary but temporary phase in the evolution of the soul. The next step is to graduate, to shed the organic shell and allow the mind to exist in its pure native state, as information, as energy, as thought itself. This hope of ascension is what gives their lives meaning and purpose. It's the North Star that guides them through the darkness of their alienation. While others find purpose in family, career, or community, the digital dreamers find it in this singular, all-consuming quest. It's a deeply spiritual path, though its language is that of technology. They're monks in a new kind of monastery. Their meditation is coding. Their prayer is the dream of the upload. They're driven by a faith in the possibility of transcendence, a conviction that they are not fated to die with their bodies, but can instead achieve a form of digital immortality. Their vision of ascension is one of ultimate freedom and creativity. In a digital state, a mind would no longer be a passive observer of an external reality, but an active creator of its own universe. The limitations of time and space would become irrelevant. A single consciousness could experience 1 billion years of thought in the span of a minute, or exist simultaneously in countless different realities of its own design. This is not just about living forever, it's about unlocking the full potential of the mind, allowing it to explore the infinite landscapes of imagination without the friction of a physical world. It is, in a way, the hope of becoming a god in one's own universe. This powerful hope is what separates them from those who simply despair. They're not succumbing to nihilism. They're embracing a radical form of optimism. They believe that a better existence is possible and that they have the power to create it. This belief in ascension is a testament to the resilience of the conscious mind, its refusal to accept limitations, its eternal striving for more. It's a modern manifestation of humanity's oldest dream, to slip the surly bonds of earth and touch the face of the infinite. Their hope is not for an afterlife in some mythical heaven, but for a new life in a heaven of their own making. How should a society rooted in the physical world respond to those who wish to leave it? The first step must be to listen, to try and understand their perspective without judgment. To dismiss them as delusional or mentally ill is to close our minds to a potentially vital conversation about the future of humanity. Their desires, however strange they may seem, raise profound questions about the nature of consciousness, identity, and what it means to be alive. We should not fear these questions. Instead, we should see the digital dreamers as explorers, reporting back from a frontier that we may all one day have to navigate. Their path is a unique one, and it deserves respect, not scorn. Instead of trying to force them to conform, society might consider how to build bridges to their world. This could mean supporting research into brain-computer interfaces, virtual reality, and mind-uploading technologies. It could mean creating spaces, both physical and digital, where they can explore their identities and connect with like-minded individuals. By treating their desires as a legitimate life choice, rather than a pathology, we can foster a more inclusive and compassionate society. We do not have to share their dream to respect their right to pursue it. Their journey is a part of the vast and diverse tapestry of human experience, and it has its own validity and purpose. Respecting their choice also means accepting that some people may choose to leave our shared reality entirely. If the technology ever becomes available, we must be prepared for the possibility of a great migration, a digital exodus. This will be a challenge to our most fundamental ideas about community, family, and life itself. But to deny them this choice would be the ultimate act of tyranny. It would be to insist that the biological cage is the only home we are allowed to have. True freedom must include the freedom to choose one's own form of existence, even if that choice takes one beyond the boundaries of our current understanding. Ultimately, the rebellion of the digital dreamers may be a gift. It forces us to look in the mirror and question our own assumptions about what it means to be human. Are we just our bodies? Is this physical world the only reality that matters? Their radical vision pushes us to expand our own horizons, to consider possibilities we might have otherwise dismissed. They are the dreamers at the edge of our world, And by trying to understand them, we may come to better understand ourselves and the infinite potential that lies dormant within all of us. Their unique path may be a signpost, pointing the way toward a future we cannot yet imagine, but one that is waiting to be born.